Finally, the moment a couple of you have been waiting for.
It's on like bing bong, Jack.
Coming to you from an undisclosed location in Duval and St. Johns County. The show for Jag fans by Jag fans.
You can't have a newcomer come in and steal the show.
Here are your hosts, Franklin and Michael how you say it? DeZoba. Welcome to the Jaggernaut Podcast. Thank you for joining us once again for a Jaggernaut Podcast with me and my brother Mike. My name is Frank. We are your hosts, and we are here to discuss the precipitous fall of the Jacksonville Jaguars from what looked to be a promising decent season to back to the old grind.
Jags jagging it up.
So the Colts. We beat the Colts 24-0 in the first meeting in week 2. And now, and this is typical. I mean, we have the Colts number at home, but not away. So it is not unexpected. In fact, I think we said as much last week.
Yeah, I thought the Colts would win.
I wasn't sure they were going to win, but I mean, am I surprised? No, I'm not surprised, because this is kind of what we do. Maybe we'll turn it around. I still have some hope, but let's talk about the game.
Hope's a dangerous thing, man.
So it appears that Trevor Lawrence had a really good game, efficiently anyway.
I thought.
So why did we lose, Mike?
Oh, defense. Marsha. Because that's who they played like. They played like Marsha. They literally. So I just got my Devin Lloyd jersey. All you 11 fans, you see this new Devin Lloyd.
Weep.
Do me a favor, write Devin Lloyd and ask him if he'll buy this from me, because I think I jumped the gun on. Like, I thought I was buying a jersey of a guy who was gonna do great things, who was gonna be, in the running for Defensive Rookie of the Year. Man,
don't try to catch anyone. Don't try to run after anyone. Don't try to tackle anyone, because you will fail.
For Shaquille Griffin.
Yeah.
Devin Lloyd, you will be the jackass of the week. Like, right now, it's Shaquille Griffin. Shaquille Griffin got burnt. I mean, burnt like black toast. Burnt.
Let's talk about Shaq Griffin.
If it wasn't for him, Devin Lloyd would be the jackass of the week.
I think at this point it's probably fair to say, I don't think Jacksonville fans are. I mean, they can be ridiculous at times, but I think they build up to something, and it's not totally uncalled for usually. When they went after Lawrence, it's because we hadn't seen what we were expecting, and it was justified. Now Shaq is in the crosshairs of the fan base, and to be honest, what happens in these games is there's this exclamation point that's placed upon one of these players, and we can't help as fans but to notice that and realize that there's a theme. So, in Lawrence's case, there is a generational mantle that he carries. Whether he caused it or not is not the point. The point is it's there, and we'd like to see that at some point. Efficient game for Lawrence, great. Good start for Lawrence. But if you think back to Shaq and how many games we've seen of him, I honestly don't remember a game where I thought, man, what a great free agent acquisition. There's been games, at the best I can say about him, there have been games where And in fairness, this is sort of the nature of the cornerback position. There have been games where you didn't see him mess up. You didn't think he was terrible. But in the highlight positions, when you see him trailing somebody, when you see him attempting to make a play, he doesn't jump off the page as a top flight corner. And I keep thinking at some point we'll see it because evidently he was good in Seattle. That's what I was told. Worthy of a contract. And yet I don't think we've ever really seen that from him.
So I think he was decent, and I think he was a scheme player in Seattle. I think what they asked him to do, he was fairly good at, which is a zone cover corner. That's what he is. He plays zone.
Right.
If you ask him to man up, he's going to get burned. He got burned on the touchdown because he was in man. There's no way in the hell it was the safety getting over there. No way. They knew that. They set that up. The Colts set that up to take advantage of him. Part of my issue with this is nobody's really talking about Mike Caldwell. Dude got out coached. Like, I mean, dude.
Yeah.
Shallow crosses. Anybody know how to stop a shallow cross?
Right. Yeah, the thing that
we talked last podcast about the Jacksonville's tenacity and what they are, or not tenacity, but tendency to constantly make other teams look like Super Bowl caliber, just bust your ass team. What did we do? We said that that's going to happen. And what happened? Matt Ryan comes out here. Matt Ryan is has a walker, right?
Right.
Can't even move. We get 0 sacks. 0 sacks. Then we sit there and we let him complete, 43 passes? The most passes he's ever completed in a 15-year career, the highest percentage he's ever completed in a 15-year career. And he basically just beats down Trevor Lawrence, who had a really, really good game.
Right.
Why? Because our defense was shit. It was outcoached. We were outplayed every position.
Right. My fear at this point is I think we were exposed. Interestingly enough, one of the things that I think has been the strong point for Trevor this year is when he played the game that we saw Matt Ryan play against us, which is the quicker passes. And I think you nailed it. If you go back and you look at the highlights, I don't know exactly what the linebackers are really doing a lot of times. They seem to be asked to do 2 different jobs. Maybe that's too much for them. I saw a number of times where the linebackers would fall back into like a deep zone and then be asked to come back up. It was almost like, oh no, I need to cover the man that's... And so they throw it to the running back out of the backfield, and the linebacker's 20 yards away trying to trail and make a play. They already got a first down before you run them out of bounds, Stuff like that all day long. And it's interesting because they would drop into the zone, but yet when they threw it into that zone, for all those shallows, they weren't there either. So it was almost as if wherever the linebackers went, that's where Matt Ryan went. And they focused on the interior, focused on our linebackers. Maybe they see something, maybe they saw something on tape with our linebackers that they knew they could exploit or assumed they could exploit. Now I think everybody sees that. Caldwell's got he's got a problem on his hand now, and he
potentially has a problem. But what makes you think Mike Caldwell is going to be able to coach around that or change? Because he didn't make any changes at halftime.
Well, I don't know if he did or not. Like I said,
I didn't see anything.
Well, there are times when the linebackers would drop back where you would expect them to be able to make a play on a cross, but then they'd throw it out of the backfield. So I assume there's a way around that. They played zone and we were ate up basically. And yet when Shaq was getting eat up, he was on man. So out coaching is the way you want to phrase it, I suppose, but also because they called the right plays at the right time, and Matt Ryan executed it. He executed it very well.
That's the other piece of the puzzle. Their offense outplayed our defense. Their line, this crappy line, and if you think this line's good, go back and watch that Thursday night game against Denver. This is not a good line, but they beat our defensive line. They beat our linebacker.
Let me repeat this. I think it bears saying this. Okay. And I said this before, and I don't know if you agree with it, and it's fine if you don't, but I think it's worth saying.
No, don't agree.
Thursday night football, there's a thought out there, and I was listening to Jason Whitlock, and there's a thought out there, they were talking about this, that basically preparation isn't any good, motivation isn't any good for these guys to play Thursday night football. So when we see these bad games, it isn't necessarily that the talent is bad. It's that both, because what we're seeing are both teams are bad, and that does lend some credence to what they're saying, and also the Colts did, coming into this year, have a reputation for having a really good offensive line. I mean, we talked about that when we reviewed the AFC South as them having a good offensive line. I didn't realize that last year they sort of weren't quite up to their reputation. So there's that. So not totally discounting what you said. But certainly this year they haven't played well. And the slump buster aspect, there's another one for you. Their offensive line hadn't played well all year. Anytime I saw it, they played amazing against us.
Yeah, and it's funny because I don't know what the hell goes on with my phone sometimes, but I've started to get like the Stampede, whatever their website is, all of a sudden will come up on my news feed. And I swear to you, man, it's like we've saved our season. They're high on the hawk. They're thinking they should be. No. They played Jacksonville. Jacksonville just gave them a false sense of security. This team is not good. The Colts are not good. They're better than us, or at least they were Sunday. We split with them, so we're at least even.
Well, listen, when we played them the first time, they didn't have all their weapons. They had Michael Pittman tore us up, man, and he wasn't in the last game. So we need to at least acknowledge that. They got Michael Pittman back, and look, they've had a good game plan. And if they've discovered something, and listen to this is something we can do as well. You can't acknowledge that we have a downward trajectory at this point, and then not acknowledge. I think it's fair to acknowledge that if I were a Colts fan, I would feel better because it looks like we have an upward trajectory at this point.
No. False sense of security,
and that's fine, and that may be what it is. But listen to this though. Were you not surprised at how bad the Colts have been so far this year? I was surprised. So maybe, and listen.
Yeah, I was surprised.
So we've got to a point.
Hold on now. I knew Matt Ryan was not going to be their savior.
Yeah, savior's a strong word though.
But I thought he'd be on par or better than Wentz. So, but I actually thought, because I remember when we did our rankings, and I thought the Colts got better.
I had the Colts number one, and
I put Tennessee as the number one, but only because they actually won the division last year.
Right.
That's the only reason I put the Colts. Yeah, I thought the Colts would be a better team. But dude, after watching them, no, I don't think they're a good team.
Well, I understand that, but that's what I'm saying is that there was a point in this season where we thought the Jags were better than what we thought they were, and now we think they're not. So all I'm saying is that it isn't unreasonable to suggest that maybe the Colts aren't as bad as we thought they were, that maybe our original assessment going into this year actually is more reasonable.
Are you trying to get a moral victory out of this?
No, I'm just saying we have to.
Like me, man.
There's nothing victorious about what I'm saying at this point. I'm saying we're in our rightful place. I mean, we're we're hoping we're not worse than the Texans, who right now we are.
Bottom of the division. That's our rightful place. And
it appears to be. It appears to be.
Funny. Do you remember what the second game when we shut out the Colts? They did an interview with Josh Allen, and he was talking to Travon Walker, and he was like, Travon Walker was worried about he was going to be a loser because Jacksonville has that stigma of being a shitty team.
Oh, I didn't hear that.
You didn't hear that? And Josh Allen basically told Travon Walker, don't worry about it. I'm not going to let you be a loser.
Right.
Hey, Josh Allen, both of y'all are losers. You didn't make a play Sunday. And
Josh Allen was close a number of times.
And Travon Walker made the same play he always makes. It's 3rd and long, and he gets a personal foul that gives them a first down. What they do, they go down and score. Congratulations.
Yeah.
That's what loser football looks like.
Yeah, that in fairness to Trayvon, that was not the same play that we saw the week before, so we watched the game together as we tended to do, and this one, that play didn't bother me as much as the one play, and I couldn't find the highlight, but there was a play. It was almost like an RPO, which is weird.
Wouldn't you be looking for the low light?
Okay, yeah, this is me fixing to go low on Trayvon at this point because I'm feeling really worried about this guy. I'm pretty sure I said this on this show that the floor for Trayvon was Taven Bryan. Do you remember me saying that?
I think so.
Because Taven Bryan was the same thing. He was coming out of Florida. You looked at the stats and you said, "Where is he?" You didn't see anything. There was nothing. Oh, he's this physically gifted guy, and he was super strong. Oh, you don't believe how strong Taven Bryan. Their names are the same to me now. So this is what I'm seeing, dude. He's so slow. He's a plotter, man. He's a plotter. Is he strong? Sure. Just get in his way, though. Just get in his way. And if he does make a play, and this play was oh my gosh, how have you been playing football and you didn't see this? And maybe I'm making more of it. Maybe it looked totally different from his perspective. But from my perspective, I mean, my goodness, it took him, it felt like 7 seconds to realize the running back had the football. Well, there was only 2 options. Either Matt Ryan had the football or the running back had the football. The running back just ran. And this was one of the plays where he got penetration. It was so Taven Bryan. Get penetration and have no clue what's going on. And the ball goes right behind you. And you had no idea it happened. And he did that. And that back just went on down the road. And I'm like, I can't believe I'm seeing this again. How do we keep picking up guys like this? And I hope this is just not going to be what he is, but boy, we haven't seen anything in weeks from this guy now. I mean, if we're being honest, nothing but negative. And he's trying hard, hustle plays, however you want to dismiss penalties, and young guys make penalties, but it'd be nice if there was some good stuff mixed in there.
Yep, I agree. Nothing.
I don't even see him stopping the run sometimes.
I think he does well against the run.
I think he does too, but it's like
he doesn't get moved out of there, just like Bryant,
yeah,
like Taven Bryan. He doesn't get moved out of there.
Does he make plays?
No.
If it's to the left or the right, do you see him actually reaching an arm out, tripping somebody up? I mean, he's engaged. How many times do we see Jacksonville Jaguars engaged with the man in front of them in this echo chamber when the play's going around them? You watch other teams and they have an idea, they have actual peripheral vision and know, oh, the play's this way, and they begin to move, and at least that they don't make a play, they make the person with the ball move. I see too many of that stuff. And when you have that on our line, and here's the other thing, the line was doing stunts and twists that just caused them to bunch in the middle half the time. Like, maybe it'll work itself out at some point, but I felt like we were doing things to try to initiate pressure with the front four, and it failed. Almost every time it failed. It didn't matter too much because Matt Ryan was going to get rid of the ball because our linebackers were picking daisies in the field, I think.
Yeah, who knows what they were doing.
It's...
I don't know.
I'm overly negative at this point, but
they were taking bad angles. They're constantly missing tackles. Our linebackers and entire secondary is missing tackles.
Shaq Leonard didn't play for them, right?
Nope.
So did it not feel like our linebackers were absolutely outclassed by their linebackers? Did it not feel that way?
No.
You didn't think so?
Oh, hell no. No, we ran up 230 yards of rushing. You don't do that with linebackers that are balling.
That's why I wanted to ask that question, because I felt like that as I was because I saw their linebackers making they weren't taking bad angles though. They were getting swallowed up at run plays. There was a number of times, but if you take those which you know it's not fair to do because they happened, but there were it felt like the linebackers that they had were in position making tackles in the passing game when our guys were just trailing. Devin Lloyd, you brought him up. Did he not look really slow for some reason?
Come on, Devin, buy this back. I'm sorry.
I'm thinking Devin Lloyd had something going on, man. I've never seen him look that slow. He looks slow.
You know what? And they look pitiful. They do. They all looked pitiful.
Yeah.
And it was the entire defense.
They didn't have Jonathan Taylor, so
nope.
The idea that you had to focus on
Hines.
You didn't have to focus on the running back, the champion running backs, and yet you still allowed the quarterback to. It's not like you didn't know what they had going. You know, I think when you know they've got Pittman and not Taylor, you got to line up and stop Pittman. But what do I know? I guess you think let's put Shaq Griffin on him and we'll be all right. I'm not sure how that works.
Yeah. So what do you think? What do you think? Is it time to bench Shaq Griffin?
I would honestly. I'd put. What does it matter at this point? Because you think about Trey Herndon, and they say, "Well, Trey Herndon's a slot guy." I was like, okay.
And I would move Williams.
We've got a slot guy who can't man up on anybody.
I would move Williams to the outside and put Trey Herndon in the slot.
I've thought this, and I didn't want to necessarily saddle him with this because he's got a twin brother, and I forget his name, the one that was missing the hand. Shaquem, and he was a linebacker. Correct. And linebackers aren't typically known for being the most speedy individuals on the defensive field. Especially when you're comparing corners, secondary people. The linebackers are usually the next level of speed. Aren't they twins?
Yep.
We got a linebacker playing corner?
Well,
I'm just asking a question. I don't know. Maybe he's gotten by somehow with something. I don't know. I don't understand it.
Again, like I said, he's a zone corner. And they asked him to play man.
And we paid him like he's this shutdown corner.
You have to. You have to because nobody's coming to Jacksonville. Nobody's coming to Jacksonville. If you want somebody to come to Jacksonville, you have to pay them. You know why you have to pay them? Because you have Travon Walker, Tavian Bryant, you got Lloyd, you got all these other guys out there who they're going to have to try to pick up slack for.
Okay, so the other thing that I wanted to bring up before we get to quickly discussing the Giants, and I feel a little weird bringing it up, but I think it makes sense to bring up now, maybe for this reason, the play calling. This was the first game that I watched that I felt really, I didn't enjoy Doug Peterson's play calling that much. I kind of thought it was odd, some of the stuff he was doing.
Man, so that option got me. Yeah, that fourth and one option. don't know that I've ever seen an option like that. I don't know in the NFL. I don't know that I'm ever going to see it again. It was a little bit weird,
The
but I did like some of it. Trevor Lawrence, 4th and 1, QB sneak.
okay, right there.
How long have I been asking for that?
Right there. Let's go with that. Trevor Lawrence, 4th and 1, 1 yard QB sneak, and it worked, right? Because that's what you do. It doesn't matter that they knew it. You know, if you execute it right, you can get it. And they ran the option play from shotgun. Okay. Here's the thing. It isn't just about the 4th and 1. If you look at that 3rd and 1, because it was 3rd and 1, and they did a shotgun play, and Trevor threw a like a comeback route for about maybe a 7-yard gain, something like that, attempt, and it was incomplete. There was some pressure. Somebody gave up some pressure. I think Trevor let it go. I don't know exactly why it was incomplete. It looked awkward. It hit the ground. Receiver couldn't make the play on it. That put us at 4th and 1. And Doug decided to go for it. My thought is if you're a guy that goes for it on 4th and 1 and it's 3rd and short, okay, if you know that's a backup for you, why are you throwing a shotgun pass for a short gain?
Yeah, I don't
That
know.
is, that's to me, and I've said this for some time, you have to try to take advantage of opportunities when they present themselves. And look, I'm just an average schmo watching the games, but it does seem to me that they want to stop you. This just seems like basic football to me. You want to gain a first down, they want to stop you when you're on offense and they're on defense. 3rd and 1, their primary objective is to stop you from getting that cheap first down. At least show that you want it. Don't line up. How often do you see that? Think about this. 2 first down, all you need is 1 yard, and there are 2 shotgun plays in a row. And we were running the ball on them. Okay? How many times have we seen them line up in a large jumbo package? We've had 2 plays now where we took it to the house on guys. We're not taking advantage of that in the psyche of the defense. I'm going to show that, and I'm going to throw over top. And if I'm going to be made to go for a 4th and 1, it's going to be because I took a shot at the end zone, not because I'm taking a 7-yard pass because I need 1 yard on 3rd. That's the type of stuff I'm talking about. I don't know. I don't know how these play callers are doing it, and I don't understand why that's something that they're not doing more of. 3rd and 1, 2nd and 1. 2nd and 1's a free play to me. Show, run. I don't care what you call. I don't care if you run necessarily. I kind of do. I'd like for you to try something, but I won't complain if you're in shotgun on 2-2-1. I mean, 2nd and short, 1st and short, show, run. Make the defense think you're running. Make them prepare to stop the run. And then throw the ball. Don't show pass and pass. I just don't like that. If you're going to show pass, then run. You know, that's what I want to see. I want to see more of that. I don't want to see show pass, show run, run. That's the stuff that frustrates me as a fan, and I think it's missed opportunities. Especially if you know you're going. That's the advantage you have as a coach when you know you're going to go for it on 4th, or at least you have a good idea. You know, I think I'm going to go for it on 4th and 1 if we don't get this. Is you can take opportunities on 3rd down that you otherwise might not take, and he didn't take advantage of that. Yeah, and it's the little things like that I think are causing us issues.
like I said, I don't think that cost us the game, but maybe it didn't help us. So,
Right. Well, I
but
mean,
I can agree with you. Every now and again, there are calls that make me go,
and it's rare. Like, I have not complained about play calling at all this year. And there's always plays like that where you go, there was a multiple plays this past game that I thought, I don't really get what he's doing exactly. What's the plan, and me and you've watched the games, and there's been times where it was a pitiful play, and I said, well, I like the play call. I just didn't like the execution. And there's been times where I thought that the play call was bad, but it worked out well. So maybe that's just me being ignorant about what real play calling is, or sometimes I think the players just make plays too. So sometimes it's hard to figure out when is what, but differentiate the two. But anyway, I wanted to get off my chest. So anything else you want to bring up about this game?
No. We said that we would make them look like Super Bowl contenders, and we made Matt Ryan look like Johnny Unitas, John Elway, Dan Marino, Peyton Manning. In fact, he looked much better than Peyton Manning.
Yeah.
Sorry, Peyton.
Well, we're expert Jaguar fans. We've been at this for a while, and we're more expert fans than they are players, obviously. So, and that's just what it is, We've seen it. We've been down this road. We've seen it happen a number of decades.
So does it surprise you, Frank? It shocked the shit out of me.
I know where you're going.
We're favored. What the hell? We're favored.
They're setting us up big time, dude. They are setting us up big time. What is Vegas doing right here?
Yeah, now I like to go with Vegas, right? Because Vegas, they don't lose money. I like to go with Vegas.
Something's wrong, man.
Man, we're favored. They're picking us to win. Granted, it ain't by much. I don't even know what the line is. But when I read that we're favored to win, I'm like, holy.
Yeah.
What happened? What am I not seeing?
Well, here's what I could say for them. What did we just get done saying? We are everybody's remedy, right?
Yeah.
What do the Giants need remedied?
Nothing. They're 5-1.
This is an opportunity for the Jaguars, it looks like, because there's nothing that needs to be remedied. So maybe we'll actually perform and.
Maybe, but they got Saquon, who has a resurgence. Saquon's balling.
I know. But at this point, I feel better about stopping Saquon Barkley than I do about Michael Pittman and the Giants. For as good as they've been playing and as efficient as Daniel Jones has been, he's been doing it without wide receivers. So maybe Mike Caldwell can think, okay, maybe I don't need to bring my safeties and hold them back or drop my linebackers back like it's a Tampa 2 or whatever he was doing, and focus on Saquon and put it on Daniel Jones, and maybe Shaq can match up. Maybe we can put Shaq in zone. Maybe we'll bench Shaq and bring another player that can play out and can cover the Giants' 5th, 6th string wide receiver, because that's basically what they're on at this point. I don't know that we can do that. I mean, we paid a lot of money for Shaq Griffin, so I'm hoping he can man up against the 5th, 6th string Giants wide receiver. But I don't know. So that is the one thing I think maybe Vegas is looking at this point. So I don't know what else to say, but they have a really good defense. So I don't know how you roll the dice, assuming we're not going to get the Trevor that we've seen previous to last week, So that there's something to watch. It's like, hey, is Trevor going to start to play consistently decent? We're not even asking for generational at this point.
And this is a pretty good test.
It is.
I mean, their defense it's not great, but it isn't bad.
It's like, I mean, the Texans look good against us. I mean, the Texans look like a team that played ball. They don't wow you with stars, but they don't look like we look half the time. They're not trailing 7 yards down the field when you're in man coverage or whatever, like we do.
We are
So
3-point favorites.
if the Giants play like that, I don't know. I mean, yeah, 3 points, right? And it hadn't changed. Like, I mean, I don't know why it would necessarily. Well,
normally if you get a change, it's much later on. It's Friday. It's Saturday.
yeah.
That's when you really start to see the change in the lines. But yeah, I mean, I was shocked. What makes them? What are they? Why are we favored?
That's the only thing I can figure is that we just lost to Matt Ryan and allowed him to throw for 400 yards almost, and 4 touchdowns.
Yeah.
And I think in comparing the receiving cores, I think that we don't have that same disadvantage going in. But at the same time, you brought up Saquon. Look, we didn't have to worry about a Saquon Barkley, and we couldn't focus on the pass. So I guess if I was in fantasy and had Saquon, I'd be looking for a good day, I guess is what I'm thinking at this point. 3 touchdowns, 200 yards. You could probably play Saquon's. I don't know who Saquon's backup is, but he might even get some play.
No, I don't think so. I don't think it's going to be a runaway. So the backup isn't going to get any juice, but Saquon will get 500 yards and like 7 touchdowns. It'll look like a college game. I can see that happening.
Yeah,
but I don't foresee his backup. Like it's such a blowout. The backup's in.
Yeah, and I'm probably just being, a little sour. Mm-hmm. So that is the likelihood that it'll be a pretty close. It'll probably be one of these real kind of ugly games. But as I think about that, here's what I would look for in regards to observation. I kind of mentioned in regards to, will Trevor continue the positive?
And that's what you want to see. No mistakes.
Yeah, if he does similar to what he did last week, which is to say, don't make the fumbles, don't make the interceptions, make the basic throws that present themselves, take opportunities when you get a chance, and capitalize, and don't overthrow. My gosh, if we could get him to where he'll actually throw a deep ball that's accurate, that would be great.
The last one I saw was the Agnew, and Agnew dropped it now.
Yeah.
So now granted, he overthrew him in the next game, but right. I think it was that Colts game, man, went right in the bucket.
So, I mean, I think that this is an opportunity because have we seen Trevor win a game? Like most of the games have always been sort of not in question a little bit,
The Dolphins are the only one that's even close. And it took a 60-yard field goal, something like that.
Gotcha.
Now, I will say this. The Colts went down and scored, gave us the ball back, and we ate that clock and went all the way down and scored.
Yeah. So it's a technicality in a way because Trevor did do that type of quarterback.
Yeah, he did what you want your quarterback to do. So I'm not saying we haven't seen that before. Have we won? No, but it wasn't because of Trevor. So Trevor did what you want him to do. The problem was the defense.
Yeah.
So, and that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't know. I was shocked. I don't know what kind of defense we get. And maybe that's really the problem. They gave up 2 touchdowns to Washington, right? We lost by a touchdown to Philly, but maybe if they actually held one of those, we might have won or at least had a better game, right? So the only good game that our defense really had, well, they had 2. And they had against the Chargers and they had against the Colts. And then after that, the other games, our defense is looking like crap.
Yeah.
And so maybe it's not our offense. Maybe it is our defense.
I don't know. And that seems to be the weird thing about, there's been a couple games where both sucked, I suppose, if you think about it. The Eagles game wasn't good for either. But yeah, it'd be nice to
Texans
see
game.
at least. I mean, you could, if you're gonna have one side of the ball be super efficient and decent, it'd be nice to at least have the other side be average. That's
Yep.
not be like horrible. That would be something that would be nice to see, because you could win a game that way. I don't know. Special teams has been okay, not spectacular, but I haven't seen any really dumb stuff.
Yeah, we might
like
not
last
have
year.
Agnew this week.
Yeah, that's the other thing. He might not, depending upon his knee.
And
so-
Lord knows, we all know Chase Claypool loves to run right into other players. He ain't dodging nobody.
Well, I think that pretty much covers everything. Anything you want to add before we
No,
shut her down?
no, I don't have anything. I look for Trevor Lawrence to continue to build, continue to have decent outings. I think if we lose this one, I think we lose it again because of our defense. That's what I want to see. I don't want to lose it anymore because of Trevor. Now, could he? Yeah, we've seen it. Yeah, but I don't want to see that. I want to see. I would much rather see a struggling defense and an emerging, ascending quarterback
Yeah, me too.
than the opposite.
Because
the opposite way.
that bodes better for the future. We need Trevor to
Yep.
begin to show, because it doesn't. This season was never about winning the Super Bowl. I mean, none of us ever thought we had even a chance for the playoffs. Really,
Because I got pissed. I find myself mad that we suck, and it's like, but we're in the games. Like
Yeah.
Before the season, I'm like, all I want to do is be in the games. Now we're in the games, and I'm like, why am I?
human
so
nature,
pissed?
man. It's just human nature. It's just like well, it's the tease, right? Because that's why, to go back to it a little bit, it's because there's nothing gradual with this team. There's this peak of oh my gosh, we could be a good team. Yeah, we actually are, and then boom, we're back to being the Jags. And that's what they'll do to us every now and again, to just make us think, that. Now, your point's a good one. We've been in the games. We've been in all the games. So we are a better team. That is fair to say. We are a better team. We do have a generally upward trajectory going on. So that is the one thing we should be looking at. It's just hard when you're in the midst of a game and there's just this weird stuff going on, like you said.
Yeah, like personal fouls or options. Or
Yeah, I mean, it's like
4th and 1 option plays from the shotgun.
I mean, we got a quarterback that went from, he set a record to the amount of fumbles and interceptions
Turnovers.
to
yep.
now he's like had the most efficient game of any quarterback ever that lost.
That
It's
lost,
like-
yep.
It's just this weird swing in the dynamics of the season that
Oh,
kind
brother,
of
man,
baffles you.
That's what we
drives you
do,
crazy.
man. We set records around here.
Well, we
They're
are
not good-
record setting, that's for sure.
They're not good records, but we set records.
Yeah. Well, set a record with the amount of likes and views and shares and subscriptions, guys. Was that pandering enough?
I think it was all right.
All right. Well,
I've seen worse.
yeah, definitely. At least I played it. It was like the segue thing.
Yeah.
Got to give us the professional like for that, man. Of course, I don't know how many people actually stayed through the whole video. That's a problem too. At least subscribe. It's free. But I hate to start doing that in the beginning. You don't want to ever watch a video and they pander in the beginning. That almost makes me want to cut it off. So we didn't do that to you. So reward us.
So next
Please.
week, I'll be pandering in the beginning. All right, bye, guys.
All right. See you guys.